know that this was the most intense schedule ever for AIPES. Ever. But what was AIPES 2008? AIPES, of course it was you, the students. It was your dedicated professors. It was your loyal TAs and your loyal program managers. But it was also the ladies who served you breakfast, your favorite bartender in the pub, even the metro drivers, because each of them were very key in AIPES. You wouldn't have eaten, you'd have no bed to sleep in, or the tram. You never would have gotten to class. That is what AIPES 2008 was. And by this audience that you're going to have today, it was a most successful program. Now, what was AIPES 2008? And I'm just going to read this one part to you. It was a successful collaboration of highly skilled and intelligent people dedicated to sharing their lives with a collection of strangers in an international setting, all striving to achieve common individual and team goals. It was through this dedication that these goals were achieved, culminating in tonight's graduation ceremony. That's what AIPES 2008 was. Leadership. Now I know there's some mathematicians in here that say the +1 power really cancels out. But this is my math. Okay? Remember, you work harder, one step harder than the hardest working person in the room. But first, we have to talk about the power you possess as individuals to change people's lives. Each of you can do this. Change people's lives. Here's the most simple, basic form of how you do it. I want you to imagine that you're walking into the classroom building and you see another student coming by. Maybe you talked to them, you're friends before, or maybe you just don't even know their name yet. But imagine if you just smile to that person as you walk past. That person, for whatever they were thinking in that time, by the time they passed you, they see your smile. They stop thinking of exactly whatever it was they're thinking just in that moment of time. Just by that little instance, you changed their lives through a smile, the most simple, basic form of communication. Now each one in here is from various countries. We're all individuals, and each individual in here possesses talents. These talents are what separates you one from another. Some of us are very good in economics. Some of us are very good in law. Some of us may be singers, or dancers, or drawers, or artists. Each of you has these talents, but now it's up to you to further develop these talents to become what you're supposed to become. And through these talents, you start to get this idea of a vision. The passion divided by your determination of your talents, you come up with a vision. But what is this vision? This vision that is something that's inside your brain. And it is a picture or some words on pieces of paper. In order for your vision to be successful, you have to communicate that vision to someone else. You have to take the mental image in your mind, paint it in someone else's mind, and then your vision is achieved. And you do this through communication and hard work. It takes determination to communicate your vision. Strong, staunch determination to communicate your vision. That is what a vision is in leadership. Now you all have this power, and power is a powerful thing. We can do good things with it or bad things. You have a dilemma inside you. And how you use this power defines your character. Remember, Batman Begins. It is not who you are underneath. It is what you do that defines you. It is not who you are underneath. but it's what you do that defines your character. But what is character? It's a moral code. This is my moral code. This isn't a moral code that I sat down one day and said, okay, Mac, I need a moral code. Let me write one down. No, it started developing between the ages of 15 and 24. I don't know why it stopped at 24. Maybe because I have too many. But they're ranked in order. Number 1, listen to your heart above all else. Listen to your heart. As you get older like me, you start to rationalize decisions before you make them. But your heart will always lead you down the right path to make the right decision. Along with your heart, acknowledge your successes and your failures. Some people are afraid to fail, and others are afraid to succeed. It's a fine line. But it takes courage to acknowledge both. Second, always stay true to yourself first and foremost. Because if you can be honest with yourself, you can be honest with everyone in this room or out in the world. Honesty. Always remember where you came from. This is why you are who you are. Loyalty. 4, now this is a quote, but I don't know who said it, but there's 2 types of people in this world. Those who watch what happens and those who make things happen. It is now up to you when you leave to go back home and start making things happen. Generosity, and we'll come back to that. Because this is your only shot at life. This is not a dress rehearsal for a better life after this one. Of course, I love that wonderful summer catch movie, the cheesy American movie, when Jessica Biel, the very gorgeous, turns to Freddie Prinze Jr. and says, if you want big things in life, you have to take big risks. Courage to make these risks. And finally, keep dreaming. Because once you stop dreaming, you start dying. The next thing we're going to talk about is religion. We had some religious things in the beginning, but this is not why I'm covering, because I used to be a religion teacher. You take this idea of a heaven for what the Jews, the Muslims, and the Christians believe in. And I'm just using these 5 religions because they're the most popular religions in the world. Heaven, this idea of what's afterwards. If you're a Buddhist or a Hindu, you believe in Nirvana. It's almost the same thing. No one's ever been to Nirvana and came back and said, hey, it's really great, or hey, it's really bad. No one's been to heaven and said, hey, it's really great, or hey, it's really bad. But it doesn't really matter because in all of these religions, Islam, Christianity, Hindu, Buddhist, Judaism, we all believe in one God. Even the Hindus and the Buddhists, if you look at their core beliefs, there's one God, broken down to 330 different ones, million different ones. But we're all trying to go to the same place. It's just different paths. It doesn't mean one's better than the other. But what's right for me doesn't mean it's right for you. Americans are believed to be very hopeful people. We're dreamers, yes? First day I come in, dreams, right? But I'm going to tell you a story. There was a man who was born after World War II, around 1945. He was born to 2 parents that were alcoholics. At 13, this man found his mother dead. Committed suicide in the bathroom. He was the first one. This sort of messed with his mind. He became an alcoholic, went to the Vietnam War. After the Vietnam War, he was still drinking, but he met a beautiful woman. In 1971, he married this woman. But he was still a drinker. And with this comes abuse. Physical, mental, emotional abuse. So you can say, as young married couples should be, their intimate relationship was almost non-existent. But in 1975, they had a child. They got divorced soon after because one night the father who was drinking came to the house, threw the mother out, and locked the door with the baby in the crib.